Hey guys, it's YOU WACK, and today I got a very special video for anyone that mains Mercy or that's wanting to play Mercy on a more consistent basis and a much more effective basis, because that's one thing that people have to realize whenever it comes to Mercy, because it's easy to, I don't want to say easy, it's easy to do well with Mercy, but it's a lot harder to be more effective with Mercy, because there's a very fine line between a good Mercy and a godlike Mercy, because well, Mercy, especially for Season 7 and even in Season 6 and 5, is a very popular pick because, well, she is very effective and very efficient for what she does, which is a heal role, but also what her toolkit is about, which is her REZ ability. Now, we all know the changes that Mercy went through. It was like puberty all over again, but just to recap, she got a new REZ ability, and then she got a new ultimate ability, and then nerfs came that made the REZ ability 1.75 seconds, and then you slow down 70%. That's very crucial, especially in this video. And then when you use her Valkyrie ability, now it just instantly reses people, and you get 2 of them every 30 seconds. Now, the reason why I didn't bring this video sooner, and I'm actually kind of glad I didn't bring it, is because, well, she did go through all those changes, so it'll be kind of irrelevant if I made a tip video about Mercy's REZ, and then it completely changes, because now you're going to be using it differently. Literally, she is like a teenager. She's going through so many changes, I don't know how to keep up with it, and I don't know what to do. But now I think she's solidified. I think she's not going to go through any more nerfs, any more buffs, unless Chuck Halflin just sees this video and just says, yeah, bro, we're going to mess with you and change Mercy again and make this video irrelevant. But as it stands right now, I think it's going to be safe to say that the 1.75 seconds and the slowdown reduction REZ thing is going to come and stay. Now, for me personally, I like it, and I also don't like it. There's some pros and cons on the enemy side and also playing with Mercy, but this is what you got to do when you are going to be playing Mercy and when you do want to use your REZ. Now, when you are wanting to use Mercy's REZ ability, there's a whole different list of things that you need to consider in a matter of like half a second, but it will get easier to determine these things when you play Mercy a bunch more. But I can already tell in the comment section below, the number one thing that you need to consider is whoever dies first, REZ them. Okay, bye guys, I summed up the whole entire video. Now, I would have said that exact same thing about 4 weeks ago, but Mercy, she's a different gal. She's a changed hero, and then you have to adapt to those different kinds of changes. Now that you do have that slowdown ability, now it does take a little bit longer. The number one thing that you need to prioritize when thinking, okay, who do I REZ, is where your teammate died, the position of that dead teammate. Now, the positions of a dead teammate can really be summed up in 3 basic positions. The first one, it's right in front of you, right by your spawn. You're not in danger, they're not in danger, and of course, you're gonna REZ them. That's kind of like the duh REZ spot. The second spot is in the middle, where they're not really endangered, but someone can sneak up behind you, someone can flank around you, someone can easily just shoot you like a soldier from long distance away. So this is where your Mercy instincts come in and determine, okay, is it justified? Do I run a REZ that person? And now the third thing that I need to go into greater detail, because this is the time that I feel like most Mercy mains or just lower Mercy players still don't understand, is when your teammate actually does die in the enemy spawn or just in the enemy backlines, pretty much the spot where you're in danger, and if you REZ someone, they are still in danger, and you even put yourself in like a danger situation. So a perfect example of this is actually in one of my funny moments video. Now, neither are money. This is a funny moments video. This isn't a skill video, but I was actually playing Mercy on Oasis. I went to go REZ a tracer on the left side of the archway in the enemy back lines, and I still died. Imagine if you did that, if you didn't even pop Valkyrie. You'd be putting yourself in danger, and you might not even get the REZ because you do have that slowdown REZ. On top of that, the other bad thing when it comes to that is that not only can you die, the REZ teammate can still die. Let's say that was an Ana. Let's say that was a McCree. Let's say that was like a Roadhog or something. Someone that isn't fast and agile. They're still gonna die because, well, they're in the enemy backlines that can easily focus that hero. Now, the reason why I raised that tracer is because I thought in my head, okay, the tracer can get out of there. It's easy to just, for that tracer, just go to a health pack if they do take some damage, whatever the case may be. But still, if you're in that position, don't go in the enemy backlines and REZ unless you have numbers over them, unless the enemy team has 3 heroes left. If they have all 6, well, and you go and REZ that person, not only can you die, that teammate can die, and now it's a 4v6, and now you're gonna start crying because, oh, we're not capturing the points. You go home, you found out you're all out of cookies. I'm talking about my day. Let's get back to Mercy. Now that you understand that positioning for dead teammates is the first thing you need to prioritize, the second thing they need to think of is at the start of the game, because this is the dud time that you REZ, because yes, you do REZ them, unless the tracer or the Genji just goes balls deep on the point or behind the enemy lines, then no, you don't do that. But if it's like 5 seconds in, they die by Junkrat Trap, yeah, you're probably gonna want to res them. Now, the third thing that you need to consider, and this is less like duh, but still something that's like, of course, Resurrect, of course you would do this, but this is something that I still don't see a lot of people do, including myself, and that is res the person who has their ultimate ability. So this is, again, it's not too advanced, but if you're constantly checking the scoreboard or just straight up asking, hey guys, who has their ult, you're gonna be a lot more efficient with Mercy, and that's the whole goal here when you're trying to use your res ability. So if Zarya dies and like a soldier dies, but Zarya has their ultimate, you're probably gonna want to res that Zarya, because that Zarya ult is gonna be tide turning if maybe just those two are dead. If you can res that Zarya and they can ult and get a team wipe, oh bruh, that game was just turned because of your res ability. That's what being efficient is all about, not just resing the person that's closest to you, actually understanding, okay, who has their ultimate? That's the third thing, but there's a little bit more things that you need to consider. Now, the fourth thing that you need to think of, and this is something that some people try to argue because it's understandable, you don't always have to res this person, but at least for the sake of this video and how I play Mercy, the fourth thing that I consider is like, okay, is there a tank that I can res? Because let's use that same exact example with Soldier 76 and Zarya, but actually both of them have their ultimates. At least for me, I'm gonna res the tank because when you do res someone, especially right now, if the enemy team doesn't focus you, they're gonna try to focus the enemy, or your teammate rather, that you just res, and at least Zarya or any other tank can try to sustain the damage that's being dealt to them, because hey, they're getting focused, they're kind of a sitting duck, even though they do have a little bit of invincibility when they're getting res, but as soon as they're able to just move on the field, they're also able to take some damage. So me personally, I would res a Roadhog, I would res a Zarya, if everyone has their ultimate. Again, it just goes back to step 3, who has their ultimate, because if Soldier has their ult and Zarya doesn't, sometimes in certain situations you want to try to res that soldier because hey, that soldier ult can come in handy. And now the last thing that you need to consider is, okay, who can get to point faster? Who is the fastest hero on the field? Because sometimes if no one has their ultimates and it's not at the start of the game and there is no tanks, who's the fastest hero on the field? Because let's say a McCree and a soldier dies. Most of the time, again, it sometimes depends, okay, who's closest to their ultimate, but at that time, you're spending way too much time thinking of the outcomes. You need to think in half a second, and that's where I kind of fall flat when it comes to Mercy, because sometimes I don't always think that quick when it comes to Mercy, but it's the Mercy mains that know Mercy inside and out, that knows the situation, that knows, okay, this is a do or die situation, I have my res, I still don't have my Valkyrie, I can't res both of them, who do I res between McCree and Soldier? When it comes to me, I'm gonna res the McCree. Why? Because Soldier can run back to point faster. And if we still need to take that point, if we still need to capture the point on Nepal or Oasis or even on King's Row before you move the payload, I'm gonna res the McCree because Soldier can easily just run back to us. McCree, he's one of the slowest DPS heroes of all time. Yes, there will be times where still McCree can't get away and will get focused, but if it's like overtime and you need to res just one of these people, first of all, you should have built your ultimates. No, I'm just kidding. There's certain situations where you can't always have your ultimate, but McCree is gonna be your go-to guy. If they don't have their ultimate, if there's no tanks dead, there's so many situations I can throw out there, but I'm just trying to do like a cookie-cut, easy, simple scenario that you guys can follow, because I guarantee you, there's gonna be some times where, oh, bro, you reckon, you know, there is a McCree and a Soldier, but there's also a Zarya, but that Zarya doesn't have her ult, but there's also a Diva coming. There's just so much that I can't tell you the exact situation. I'm not always gonna be there to hold your hand. In fact, 99.9% of the time, I won't be there, but at least when you are in similar situations as this, you will remember back to this video to say, okay, YOU WACK said prioritize the slower person, but I also said to also prioritize who has their ultimate. It's smart decisions like that you not only become efficient with Mercy, you make game-changing decisions, because that's sometimes what it comes down to when it comes to Overwatch. It's just simple decisions made by the Mercy, made by the Diva, made by the Soldier, made by the Mei, by anybody, but at least what you can do, did you make the right decisions? I can't always tell you, but the victory or defeat will tell you otherwise, because you probably didn't make the smartest decision most of the time. And those are just the 5 simple things that I've kind of just learned when it comes to Mercy. Again, I'm not a Mercy expert. I'm not trying to make myself out to be the next EVA or EVB or EVC for that matter. I just know that I can somewhat be efficient, and I've learned from my mistakes, and I've also learned from my successes of how to play Mercy, and then also along the way, other people telling me how I can improve to play Mercy. but now I'm making a video to help anybody that is playing Mercy, because I do understand that Mercy can be played at a higher rank, but is especially popular at the lower ranks. If I just make this video just suggesting, I'm not telling you how to play Mercy, just suggesting when to use your res ability, because it's not just as easy as resing the first person that dies, even though sometimes it can be. It's not that efficient, and that's what I try to go for in this video. So anyway, guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if this video helped you, because this was kind of like a mini guide for Mercy's res ability. If you want to see like a beginner's guide for Mercy, then let me know. I love you guys. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.